if it get hot, I'll definitely turn the AC back on. So what's going on, everybody? No matter where the place or what the time, you are not tuned in. Smokin Strong with Strong Arm, and I'm your host, Strong Arm Tess. You know what I'm saying? Hello to everybody. I'm on this side of the camera. I'm gonna let y'all see that side of the camera. So today we have, I always wanted to know, how do you say your name?
Lukas Swing.
Cause I always just put that shit together.
Yeah.
I'd be like Lukas Swing.
Yeah, Lukas Swing.
Lukas Swing. I don't even say the S off the Lucas. I just be like Lukas Swing. But I always get confused. I'd be like, damn, is it Lukas Swing? But it still say the same shit. If you say the same.
Sometimes normally if I'm on a track, I just say swing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just,
Well, this is Lukas Swing, aka Lukas Swing.
Yeah.
So tell me, man. Well, first I'm gonna tell you, when I first started running across your page, man, I really thought you were, an established artist. Mm-hmm. And the reason I felt that way was because there's a certain way you present yourself,
right?
Your look, your music, a certain way you handle your business. So I automatically was assuming that you were already in that space. But then I found out later on that you were, independent. You were much closer than I thought.
Right.
So, where did everything start with you? Like, because you were born with the look. Like, you have the look, you have the way of moving around. Like, it's just there. Like, that's what I was discussing with you earlier off camera, man. It's just there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When did it all start with you? Like, how old were you when you got into the entertainment business? Has this been something that you've always done, or were you a child? Did you have other dreams first and then worked into this? Like, where did it all start at?
To be honest, I wanted to be a pilot for the Air Force. That's what I really wanted to be at first. But then my dad had a lot of musical background. So my dad was a professional saxophone player for a while, and he basically instilled it into me about music and how good it is for your soul.
Right.
So by him doing that, I was able to, gravitate to a level where I could, I'd say I was a very emotional kid. I was always getting into trouble, always getting into fights, always letting things get to me.
Right.
And I realized that I needed to find, my dad realized at an early age that I needed to find an outlet to release my anger.
Right.
So he trained me in music. He trained me in performance, basically like that, how to, be on stage, how to perform, how to speak to people, how to address people in certain ways, how to always give respect to people that are higher and above them or are more experienced than me in certain things.
Right.
So with that being the case, he taught me how to play regular music, like I'd say like anybody that you could think of, from James Brown all the way down on the piano.
Right.
Back in all the 1800s and all that. So I learned all those things first, and I realized that I wanted to go further. I didn't want to just play off the book. I wanted to play off of memory. I want to play off my mind. So he said, okay, we're going to stop taking to all these like regular orchestra piano lessons, and we're going to let you start creating your own thing.
Right.
And so from there, I learned, I learned how to make my own music, I used to write my own music, literally like with notes and all that.
Right.
So by writing those things, I was able to compose my first piece.
Right.
And perform it, and that gave me, a little bit of insight of what I truly wanted to do in my life. And
So your dad kind of pushed you.
Yeah, he pushed me, and I ain't gonna lie, I was not an easy guy to push. Yeah. I was extremely hard to push. I definitely wanted to, do my own thing. At one point, I can tell you, I hated music. The man used to have me. If I didn't get a piece right, he would have me sit at the piano, at the bench. That was hurting and all. I'm talking about for 4 and 5 hours after I was supposed to go to bed because I had school in the morning.
Yeah.
You got to get this right. Because if you don't get it right, how you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to get it perfect.
Yeah.
It has to be perfect.
Yeah.
If you want to be the best at everything you do, you have to sit here and make sure that it's done correctly. You know what I'm saying? And so, as far as my look goes and stuff like that, I realized that looks are everything.
Right,
So,
right.
As far as, I don't mean, because I have tattoos and stuff, all my face and stuff, but I mean, like, I'll talk about that too, but as far as look goes, if you present yourself as who you want to be, you will be treated as that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
you gotta look the part.
If you gotta look the part. So if you want to be treated as a doctor, of course you need to have the license and stuff like that. But you have to, when you get into an office of someone who's a doctor, when you look at them, and they look, like something that you've got some questions.
You trust this person working on you, or do you trust this person to answer your? Yeah,
exactly. Like I'm pretty sure you want to trust this face working on your body. I'm pretty sure you would. So like I learned how to market. I didn't learn until later that that's what it's called, marketing.
Right.
I didn't understand that physical marketing is very, very important as an artist.
Right.
And I didn't learn that until I got shitted out of my first music deal and all that shit. I didn't learn that physical appearance, having mental strength to understand what people are saying and how to, and also respect is something I had to learn along the way as well.
Right.
Like I said, I done been through a lot of bullshit, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like, with music itself, it's always been a part of me. I just had to grow to love it, you know what I'm saying? Because at one point I hated it because of my upbringing and how it was pushed on me.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so I guess it possible like Joe Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Like Joe Jackson, like you gonna do this music thing.
Yeah. He was in a stall. Shout out to Stall High School. He was in the stall band.
Yeah.
All the way in the country in Hollywood. He was in that band too.
Yeah.
He was in I think he played for Atlanta.
Right.
A&T, I believe.
Okay. Oh, okay. He was in a band.
Yeah, he was in a band. He was marching band, and then from there he had his own band. Would play around the country. Went to like hole in the wall clubs.
Right.
And would just make his money that way until he eventually ventured off into the military. And so that's basically what he.
So around how old were you when you really was thinking, okay, this is it? Like I can do this. Like, how old were you when you realized in your mind? When it was no longer a pushing force behind you, it was actually you just kind of doing it organically.
At first I wanted to play that. Like after my parents kicked me out, I was like 13 or 14. I was homeless for a while.
Right.
And I would go from job to job, and everybody that was around me would tell me like, "This is not for you. This is not for you. Flipping burgers, this is not for you. Driving forklift, this is not for you."
Right.
I'm over here thinking, even my adopted family, they would tell me, "Hey, you look like you're looking for something.
Right.
What's going on? You have a story to tell. What's really going on?"
Right.
And we got a story to tell today, yo. but on some real shit, like I think it was when I was 22, I got this tattoo on my face, and I realized it was all or nothing. It was all or nothing. Yeah. Because
it's definitely all in them when you start tatting your face up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you tat your face up, right?
Yeah. When you start tatting, y'all know we got IG in the spot too, man. We got IG here too, man. We got IG there too, man.
So if you see anybody that has a tattoo on their face, just know that either it's some real shit going on, or they really
made up their goddamn mind.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they made up their mind.
like we really have a story to tell. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I can relate because I know I was a criminal a lot of my life.
Yeah.
And I didn't put. I remember the first thing I did when I felt like I was no longer gonna be in the streets a lot. Like that's when I got the tattoos on my neck. Like exactly. I would never because I got caught up in so much shit. I used to try to make sure that I couldn't be identified. Exactly. I didn't want no identifying marks, so I would never tattoo. I used to wear sleeves a lot because I always had tattoos like in certain places on my arms. So I would always, but I never would put tattoos above my chest because I knew I didn't want to be identified. But once I felt like I was no longer really in the streets at all, I was like out of the street situation. I was like, okay, I can put tattoos on my neck now because I ain't worrying about nobody saying, well, he had a tattoo on his neck, and you know what I'm saying, like so. But
for me, I think this tattoo resembles a motivational push, a mental motivational push. Here's the ground. It gave me a motivational push to know that because like I said, I was kicked out at a very early age. I'm adopted, so I went through that whole confusion state of not having anybody around, not knowing who really wanted me and shit like that to be in their life.
Right.
So having all those insecurities and all those problems put me in an era of I need to get it on my own. So by getting it on my own, it taught me that, nobody truly is going to have your back out here except yourself. And even though we all need somebody to motivation, we all need that push sometimes. Hey, you got to do it. So the fact that I didn't have that, I needed to do something to make sure that I knew I could do it. And the first instinct was get a tattoo. So I started tatting my body up and started putting a lot of my pain and my problems and my insecurities and my flaws on my body. I put it on my body. So like, for instance, like this right here is a military. Right. I couldn't get in the military, so I put it on my body because it's a flaw.
Yeah.
It's a flaw.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
That's something that I, and then like, there's so much different stuff on my body I can explain later. That I'm the type of person that I want you to see my flaws. Right. Because I'm okay with my flaws. The question is, are you going to be? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to be true, be honest. And that's just who I am as a person. That's how I would like to be perceived. Right. I put it in my new song I said, I don't want to be labeled as a cap god. Somebody who speaks things in music that they have no experience about or doing at all. Because it gives you a persona of being fake. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't speak about killing nobody out here. That's why I don't speak about, being in a trap. I've never been in no trap. Right. That's not who I am as a person. Yeah. Like, and the fact that when you're in a situation or you're on stage, you have people that come to your shows that are going to test you and see if you're really about that life. Now, if you're not really about the hood life, if you're not about the trap life, you know what I'm saying? That's not something I encourage you to speak about. Right. Because someone's going to see if you're really about the life to see if this dude is real.
Because it's a different day and time. Like,
it is a different day and time.
When I grew up, it was different. People couldn't really check into your background like that. Right. You know what I'm saying? You could kind of, fake it till you make it was what they used to say when I was young. And that for me, and you could do that, before the time of, social media. Right. I mean, because ain't nothing wrong with faking it till you make it now. You know what I'm saying? You fake it till you make it.
And that's what you want to do.
Fake it till you make it, because a lot of people made it off of faking it. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was really a true way of life at one point in time. Like, because hip hop alone, the very first songs in rap was a fictional lifestyle. Like, they weren't living that. They were rapping about wishing they had the big screen TVs and you know what I'm saying? Hip hop, that was all.
In my song, I said, I've been dreaming about the lavish life. Yeah. Because I'm literally dreaming about it. I'm telling you, I'm dreaming about it. So I don't got that, but now we're in a whole different realm. So I've grown and matured and done a lot of different things now. So
yeah, man. But yeah, fake it till you make it. But that was the shit. I miss them days. Yeah. I miss them days, nigga. You say whatever you want to say. Couldn't nobody research it. Right. They had to, because back in the day when I was coming, even now, you got cats that move from other places. When I was coming up, it was the New York niggas. New York niggas love to move. The weakest nigga from New York moved out here and try to be the strongest nigga in Carolina. Like, they be weak as hell in New York. Weak as shit. Straight, you know what I'm saying? If you could go, if they had social media back then, man, you probably had videos and all kind of shit popping up by the dude getting his ass whooped. That motherfucker wasn't shit. Look at him getting his ass whooped. Getting his ass whooped all the time. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't research if a motherfucker Tyrone came from New York. It was always a nigga named Tyrone from New York. I don't know why it was always some Tyrones in New York back in the days. But nigga come down with motherfucker Tyrone and Jim's a John John. We got John John somewhere too. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? It was like niggas, I'm from the Bronx and I'm from Brooklyn. They wasn't never from somewhere else. It was always the worst parts. I'm from Brooklyn. Right. But we couldn't look it up to see whether they was really from Brooklyn. Like now, the nigga be like, I was from, man, you from Staten Island. You ain't from no motherfucking Brooklyn, nigga. Like, yeah, man, I see you get beat up. You got beat up right there on, I can pull it up on YouTube now. Exactly. Like, so today it's a different time, man. People, like you said, people expect, you can't talk about that shit like you used to and expect for people not to see what's going on. Like, people gonna see what's going on. They can look it up. They can check it background. Where did I notice you're multi-talented. I notice you sing and rap. So, like you said, you don't have the trap background. You don't have a lot of the hood stuff. Where does a lot of your inspiration come from? I mean, how do you know whether you want to sing a song, rap a song, and what is it that causes those things to really come out? I mean, because like you said, you got people that try to act like it's their surroundings that kind of fucks with them, or you know what I'm saying? But if you're a person that's not trapping, you're not into the hood, like what is it? What are the types of things that you really have going on in your life that make you want to put it out there like that?
For me, I'm not about the trap life, right? But I've experienced it, right. I've experienced it. Actually, I experienced a little bit of it down here in Columbia, right? Yeah, when I was homeless, I roamed the streets. I did things that to this day I've done things in the past that I wasn't proud of. So it's not that I don't live it now.
Right.
I don't. It's that back then I've experienced things along the way.
You've been out there enough to understand what's going on.
Exactly.
You've been involved. You've been in situations that
and to survive. Of course. And so with that being the case, I learned at this point now in my music, I speak about the past. I speak about the present and the future, but one of the things that really helps me get music, some of the music that I put out there is anger. I have a lot of hostility or anger in me from my childhood.
Right.
Of the not being. I was lied to at a very early age by the people who, you know what I'm saying, call themselves my parents.
Right.
And I literally use that pain and aggressiveness sometimes, and I put it in my music in a way where I can connect with people on so many different levels. And so because I've lived on so many different levels of life, from the complete bottom all the way to the top, wherever we're at now, I've always learned how to put my emotions into my music, because I feel like music is a soul connection. I feel like when you put your heart and your true feelings into a song, it connects with people a lot different than it does when you, like we said earlier, fictional music.
Right.
Yeah. It does something different to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It does something like for instance, when you listen to Lil Boosie, back in the days, it made you want to bust somebody in the head.
Right.
It made you want to bust somebody in the head.
Right.
So, and you know that he was living that life. Sit down. So now.
Boy, you listen to your pops?
Oh yeah.
You listen quick, boy. Your dad don't
know.
play no game. But y'all see that? Did y'all? I got a turtle cat. Did y'all see that? He said, "Sit down one time." He said it once.
That's all it takes.
He sat down quick too. Like, okay.
So I learned, it's just a learning process. You know what I'm saying? It's a learning process, and being able, it's actually a blessing to have been that low in my life.
Right.
It was a blessing.
Right.
Because if it wasn't a blessing, I wouldn't know how. I wouldn't know what happened. What would happen if I was to get to that point?
Right.
I wouldn't know what to do. But now I know how to never go back.
Right.
And because I know how to never go back, I can not only make money off of not knowing how to never go back, but continue to progress for my family too.
So basically, in regards to what I was asking, like it's pretty much like your family putting you out there.
Yeah.
Is what, like I said, end up being a blessing, because it helped you be able to have those things. It put you in experiences that you really weren't normally going through. Exactly. So you had a chance to learn about those things. Exactly. You had a chance to experience the life that so many people talk about, even though you wasn't necessarily brought up in that, and you wasn't looking for that, but you had opportunity to experience that.
Exactly.
And so
I definitely did.
But that's one of those things that show you, man, sometimes things happen in life that you believe are the worst things at the time that they happening, and then you realize later on that it was really a blessing to get you to that next phase of your life. Because had they not put you out, you might not be where you at with the music and the entrepreneurship like you are.
I'll be one of those guys probably wearing a cashmere sweater, sailing on a boat somewhere across the ocean right now. Like really, I wouldn't even know what the low life was about at all. Right. And I probably would be extremely spoiled. And the fact that even though it was extremely early age and I was extremely mad for them just leaving me out in the cold and whatever was going on at that time. Right. As I grew into a man and had my own child, I realized that it was a blessing, because now I'm able to survive on my own. Right. And take care of me and my family. Right. And so it turned me into a man, bro, like for real. Like,
yeah, you can't. You really can't knock it when it helped build your character and build who you are. Exactly. When I look on your page a lot, I see you have a lot going on. Mm-hmm. You're not just into the music. I see you got a food truck. I saw you at the beach house.
Yes.
How are you able? But I also noticed, most of all, you still remain. It's still, and I want a lot of people to listen to what I'm saying on this part, because I know other artists out here that they have the gift. They have a true gift of being an artist. Mm-hmm. But when they start to do other things business related, they kind of get distracted from the artistry. I noticed that you're able to function with no problems doing all of those other business things and still get into the studio and do what you need to do, drop multiples of songs throughout the week. You know, you at the food truck one day, then you in the studio, you doing this, then you back at the studio, you over there, then you back at the studio. What is it? What do you have inside? And I need you to answer this for the other artists out there. What is it that you have, and how do you give yourself that extra push to not allow your entrepreneurship take away from your artistry? Because a lot of times people are entrepreneurs, they do a lot of business, and their artistry takes a hit from that. They end up not doing as many songs as they could do, or not going as hard on the artistry because now they feel like I got to go to work. Exactly. Like, what is it that you have in you that really gives you that extra push? And it's a two-part question. And where did all the entrepreneurship come from?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's the people that God had put in my life.
Right.
The people God had put in my life want what's best for me and my family. Starting off saying what's in me is what I truly want from my music. Not only for it to inspire people and to help people grow. I want them to see. I want the music thing. I want this music life. I want to live the music life more than I want to live on any other type of business that I have.
Right.
But then again, I understand that I want the business to fund my music. Mm-hmm. So creating different businesses and being a part of different businesses and having my hands in different things helps my music go further.
Right.
Because like we were talking about earlier, if you sign to a label, they would fund a lot of your things.
Right.
Now, if I have my own businesses funding my own music, I don't have to rely on any other entity to help me but myself.
Right.
And that would say, like we said, that would save me money. That would save me time. That would save me. It would basically give my family, like I'm trying to look for now, generational wealth.
Right.
So my son may not want to be an artist. He may not want to, whatever he wants to do with his life. He may not want to, do the things that I want to do.
Right.
But the fact that I'm able to give him an option and give him some type of platform where it can uplift whatever he wants to do with the money that we're able to obtain, that's what I'm really searching for. And that's why I keep on going and I keep on grinding. Right. And like one of my biggest models today is give it your best even when nobody's watching or listening. Right. Always give it your best.
Always give it your best. Okay, and like I said, with the other part of the question, where does that drive? Like, how do you make it to the studio after you just getting off the food truck? How do you do the food truck and then go check on something else and then still make it to the studio? Like,
it's the
what is that?
It's the environment. For me, the studios around my area, my city, are always either shut down,
right,
or they're being occupied, and that there's always a waiting time limit.
Right.
My studio is in my house.
Ah, okay.
It's in my house.
All right, I got you.
So when I walk in my door, I see my woman sitting on I see my woman working on some client's hair.
Yeah.
I see my son playing with his stuff, and I'm sitting there figuring out what else can I do to come up. Like, okay, so is my date done yet? What else?
Right.
Oh, there's a red room back there that I got music to make. I can't, I just can't sit still.
So you use your hours in a day, basically. It's 24 hours in a day, and you use your 24 hours.
You are living for a reason, literally. Like your heart, until your heart starts beating. That's when you can take a rest, really, honestly. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, I do get anywhere between 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Yeah. I do. But at the end of the day, I make sure that at least I have either one song written or it recorded like a rough draft at least.
Right, right.
At least.
That's where I used to make mistakes. I used to, I was such a perfectionist. I used to end up losing a lot of songs because I didn't ever want to rough draft them. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I should have rough drafted a lot of shit and then went back and redid it. But I was always an in the moment type of guy too, though. Like, if I had to, if I came up with an idea for a song, or if I wrote a song, I needed to be able to record it that day because by tomorrow I'm not gonna feel the same way, and I'll ball up a piece of paper quick. And I mean, I've like thrown away some good ass songs just because I didn't feel the same way the next day. I'd be like, well, I felt like that yesterday, but maybe I shouldn't give it that kind of energy.
And that's what I do a lot too. But see, with me, my stuff is written down on a computer digitally.
Right.
And sometimes if I'm in a feeling and I have two different feelings on one track, I'll take a feeling from this track and a feeling from this track and I'll put it together and I'll match it. So it's like I'm matching lyrics together as I go.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
So, what are your, what singles do you have? Because I know you do a lot of songs. So do you have anything particular that you're pushing, or you just kind of putting them out there right now?
I have 2 new songs that I just dropped. One of them is a banger. I definitely was just listening to it when we in the car. I got 2 new singles that's out. I have a total of 19 singles.
Right.
And in 2020, I've done, I think, 11 so far.
Yeah.
And I drop them consistently all the time, only because, like, I drop almost 2 months at a time because I need the publishing to go through and stuff. So
right.
if I can do it like that, it works for me best.
Yeah.
Only because of the fact that I'm able to. I have so much on my mind, bro.
Right.
The fact that I don't know who I am as a person.
Yeah.
Gives me I have so many questions, and because I have so many questions, I'm able to continuously keep writing.
Yeah.
And keep on going because I still have I know who I am as a person, who I am now, but as like who my bloodline is, my background, who my real parents are, those questions create so much more problems in my life that I continuously.
So your music is almost a journey for you.
It is.
It's something that's helping you discover yourself as well as it seems. From what I'm gathering from what you're saying, it sounds like your music helps you discover more about you.
Yes.
And whatever you don't know about you, you actually talking to yourself in the music.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Literally.
Just gotta listen.
Literally, a lot of people don't catch that. A lot of people in my music, I'm talking to myself.
Yeah.
Like the people are like, now what you hear, you're like, oh shit. Like,
I mean, I get it simply because that's how my podcast came about.
Yeah.
Like my podcast, if you look back at Smokin Strong, it goes back to like 2018. It goes back to the year my son died.
Right.
It goes way back.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, it started out, I would wake up every morning. And to be honest with you, I didn't even realize I was doing Smokin Strong before my son died. I didn't even know that until I went back myself. Because I knew after he passed away, I used to use it as therapy. Mm-hmm. I woke up every morning and I just put hashtag Smokin Strong. And then I would tell people what was on my mind. Mm-hmm. But I was doing it because I didn't have, I don't do psychiatrists and shit. So I didn't have anybody to really talk to like that. And I said, well, let me go, I got all these people that's watching live every day. Let me see, how that works. Let me try something different. Right. And I would go live every day and it just catching. And it started catching. So that's I kind of understand what you're saying because that's what happened to me. I didn't plan for my podcast to be a podcast. Exactly. It turned into that over time. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just my way of expression. So a lot of times we'll talk to ourselves in the music. When I was on that, when I first started going live, I was really kind of looking at myself. I would go back and watch the live and see what was going on and see how people responded to it. And I would do a lot of self-analyzation though. I analyzed myself a whole lot in the lives that I was putting out there for everybody else. Even though everybody else is looking at it like I'm talking to them, really it was just me expressing for me.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? The way that made me feel good about it. And that turned into a whole show.
And another thing for me was my identity crisis was real.
Right.
Like, when I mean by real, there was a point where I had no name, like on some real shit. Like, when I was born, my name was this. Yeah. When I was adopted, my name was this.
Right.
I had 2 different passports. I had a red German passport. Yeah. And I had an American passport. So I literally had 2 different identities with 2 different names. So I'm the type of person that suffered. I literally suffered identity crisis.
Real identity crisis. Yeah. A literal identity crisis.
I'm like that guy that you watched on the movies that was like woke up on a boat somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. Did not know who he was. I forgot what the name was. Yeah. Born.
Okay, yeah.
He didn't know who he was.
Born,
he had an identity crisis for a while.
Yeah.
And I was that type of guy, but I didn't. Of course, I wasn't that violent. But I'm just saying, like, I just had issues in my life where I literally had no idea who I was. And when you deal with that, it's something that you have to take on very slowly. Right. And really, you know what I'm saying? That's why I know there's adopted people out there that might have my situation. I've been in my shoes. Right. That need some type of music that can comfort them in that situation. So it took me a while to come out with that situation. So now I'm finally releasing my first song. Right. It's called Questions. Right. And I'm addressing that. I'm addressing being adopted, not knowing who I am, wondering why they withheld the information from me. Was I not good enough to know who I was? Whatever the case may be.
Yeah. So where are you from?
I am originally
Where are you really from, Lukas?
I was born in Lexington County,
right,
South Carolina. So because my dad was in the military, we did a lot of traveling. So,
okay, I got you.
We were in Germany for a while. I speak German too. That's my second language.
Most Northeast cats are. So
yeah.
You got to be on the Northeast side at one point in time in your life.
Exactly.
Yeah, you had to be from that Fort Jackson. Everybody was coming out of Germany.
Yeah.
I done lost a lot of good girlfriends that was from out of Germany. They done moved somewhere else on me.
So, man, my dad, he definitely is from Hollywood, South Carolina.
Right.
In the country, so.
Yeah, I know exactly. That's what they're about something, right?
Yeah, close to it.
Yeah.
Close. So he definitely he rooted us in Charleston.
Right.
But because I moved around a lot, I got, I don't have the accent like most Charleston people have.
Yeah, you're not Geechee.
Yeah, I definitely, and not saying that's a bad thing. Not saying that's a bad thing, because being Geechee has its own culture and it's an actual beautiful language when you know the history behind it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, but besides that, the upbringing that I had gave me the opportunity to travel a lot. That's why I said if they didn't kick me out, I probably would have been spoon fed till I was like 25, bro. Like, for real, no cap. Like, I probably would still be in like I said, cashmere sweaters and more, bro.
Well, at least now you've lived on both sides of the situation, man. So you know how to appreciate it. You know how to, you know what it's like to have more than, and you know what it's like to be in part of the lesser than.
Exactly. That's why I actually said something on a post. I said I was the type of guy that jumped off the porch with everything and left and walked down the street with nothing.
Right. That's good. I like that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? That's good saying. Out of all of your businesses, with the exception, like, take music out of the equation, what's your favorite business? Like, what is it that you really like to do if you take the music out of the equation?
I really love real estate. Mm-hmm. I really love that because only because we're in this situation right now about we were talking earlier about owning things in that situation, stuff like that. Yeah. Man, like, we're talking about the land that you own and all the different stuff. Right. I want to express to people that owning stuff is probably the best way to have power in this world. Right. When you own things in this world, it gives you the power to do things that you want to do. If you own land, you can put a business on your land. What you did, you own land, you put a business on it. Yeah. You can do anything you want to do, and nobody can tell you nothing. No. So when you own things, nothing. So when you own things, it gives you the opportunity to have power. Now, I'm not the type of person that wants to have power over people. Right. I would like to have power over my own life.
Yeah, you want power over your circle. Exactly. What you got going on in your space.
I want to be able to. I used to be the guy that could go into a workplace. Right. And people would tell me what to do, and I hate it. I hate that, bro. Like, I hate it. And they would say it with such force and such, and such a rudeness that would make you not want to work, not want to do it. Right. So, me being that type of guy, I understand what respect is about, but I do understand how to use power in a productive way to not only help my family, but to help whoever else I try to employ. Right. And that always gives me makes me feel good about myself, knowing that I can help somebody out and give them an opportunity to grow. Yeah. And being able to do that is something that I can say I love a lot. Yeah. Now, I always love pleasing people, so of course a food truck is something I love cooking for people and stuff too. Right. But I think my day one, if anything, would be owning, like, real estate. Yeah. That type of power.
I gotta come check out your food truck. I ain't gonna lie. I get hungry every time I see him. Every time I see him on the food, I be like, man, I gotta eat. I need something to eat now. I'm hungry as hell. He riding around with a food truck. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so real estate is, when you own land, can't nobody take that away, man. And I always tell people, man, land is a very big thing, man. That's why I ain't got nothing but an acre and some change, but you better believe I act like it's 100 acres. You know what I'm saying?
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is worth more than a lot of people's houses. You didn't even realize it. You didn't even realize it, bro. Like, that acre that you got is real life.
Yeah, because you can have a house sitting on somebody else's shit, or just have a house that ain't yours, and you can be out of there in no time. Exactly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like, can't nobody put you out of your own.
Like my manager right now is literally going through a land situation in court right now. He owns land on John's Island, right by the water. Yeah. And the way it's set up out there, that's real money. Like, that's the type of money that you can put an apartment complex on, and really divulge into that. Yeah. And my manager is really my mentor about business as well. He's definitely my right hand man when it comes to the food trucks, when it comes to owning properties, when it comes to doing that thing. He teaches me exactly what I need to know about how to how to grow and what things I need to look for and those type of things. You know what I'm saying? So he definitely got my eyes wide open about a lot of things. Too.
Yeah. So tell me about your beach house, man. I see you got the beach house out there, man. I need to rent that. I need to get out there, man.
Timeshare, but timeshare is a real timeshare. I'm gonna tell you guys, timeshare is a real thing, man. Timeshare is basically what I like to call, if you have a bunch of homeboys that are working every day, that got money in their savings account. You know what I'm saying? Let's say me, you, and him. We get together. We put our money together. We see that there's a beach house out here on the beach somewhere. Yeah. Me and you and him put our money together. Now it's a timeshare. We can all have that time into a beach house. Yeah. We all funded into it.
And we can make money off of it when people, when bike week and stuff come around, people need a spot. You
exactly. Now
$500 a night.
Exactly. $500 a night and do a minimum of 3 nights. You gonna make your rent in a day on a bad day. On a bad you gonna make your.
My younger brother had I think he sold it, but I know he had a timeshare for some years. He never did the right thing with his though. He just had it, and he would never really capitalize right. But I know a little bit about timeshares, man. I definitely want to kind of get into it simply because in the entertainment business, that always helps. To have something like that, entertainment helps. Video shoots, you got a spot to do your video shoots at.
Exactly.
You want to get away just to do some other things, you can do that. You got a spot. And like I say, when special times come around, special holidays, you can make money off of it. So, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's something I always do. And my girl, she's from Kansas, you know what I'm saying? And she's never really, been at the beach and those type of things. So I figured, let's do something like that. That'll always be memorable, that we can always go to if we need a place of peace to go to. And for me, the beach is a place of peace. I'm able to think. I'm able to, come up with so many different solutions to my problems. I'm able to do so much just by hearing the water and hearing the seagulls. Right. And having that as a place of comfort for me. Comfort as an artist is everything. When you're comfortable, you know what I'm saying? When you're comfortable, when you're comfortable recording, you come up with some masterpieces, bro. No cap.
It's just like a writer. A lot of people that write books, they have to go somewhere to be alone.
Exactly.
They have to be like in a secluded area.
That's why I don't really have a lot of people that come in the studio. It's either just me and maybe him, or just me and a good friend that can guide me and direct me in a way that I need to go mentally. Right. Definitely.
Well, that's what it is, man. We had a pretty interesting interview, man. This is all right here. This is all right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. What do you want to say to the people, man? You got any closing words? Just something you want to get off your mind, get off your chest?
Yes, man. Like, for anybody out there, young and old, whatever the case may be, man. Like, I just want you guys to know that love is power. You know what I'm saying? In this day and age, there's a lot of hate going on. It's a lot of distance. It's a lot of crazy things going on, man. But when you realize, take the time to actually divulge into people's lives and get to know them better. Love them for who they are as a person. Love them for not for what they can offer you. Love them for the things that you guys can create together. Because you never know why God put somebody in your life. Right. And never take that for granted. You know what I'm saying? Because one day you can have somebody here and the next day that they're gone. You know what I'm saying? That's why, I just hope that you guys realize how love can impact your life in such a positive way, and how hate can really give you so much bad karma to the point where you're stuck and you can't move at all.
That's what's up, man. Right. Well, that's your boy Lukas Swing, man. You know what I'm saying? I got Ike G over there.
Hey, man. Hey, you did a good job. Hey, I'm just over here, speculating. You did. Free game,
All right, y'all, man. It's been a hell of an interview, man. I hope y'all tuned in. Y'all know I'm going to be showing it all week long. So I'm going to be reposting all week long. You know what I mean? But you already know, man, no matter where the place, no matter where the place or the time, we appreciate you for tuning in to Smokin Strong. I'm your host, Strong on Test. Out. Deuces. Ha!